Something is stirring beneath the surface. You may have felt it last night, a strange tension in your body, a wave of emotion that came and went without reason. The supermoon has passed, yet its echo is still moving through you. Many believe that when the moon returns to its normal shape, its influence fades. But the truth is quieter, more intricate. Even after the light withdraws, the body remembers. The mind too holds its reflection. Ancient Shaolin masters taught that after any great surge of energy, there is a hidden aftershock, the subtle balancing of forces inside us. Perhaps you felt more restless, unable to sleep deeply, or strangely sensitive to sound and light. Perhaps your thoughts have become sharper, your emotions closer to the surface. These are not coincidences. They are the body's way of adjusting to an unseen tide. The moon does not only move the oceans, it moves the waters within you. In this reflection, I will guide you through the lesser-known effects that unfold after a supermoon, how your breath, your energy, and your inner rhythm are influenced by this cosmic shift. You will learn how to restore balance using the timeless principles of Shaolin self-mastery through awareness, posture, and stillness. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these subtle changes is not just knowledge, it is a path to deeper control of your mind and body. What seems like disturbance may actually be the beginning of transformation. I am Shi Hing Yi, and this is Shaolin Soulfire. If you seek to walk the path of awareness and harmony, join our community by subscribing. Together we will learn to master not the moon but ourselves. There is a quiet dialogue between heaven and earth, one that most people never hear. Yet the body listens. It listens through pulse, through breath, through the rhythm that moves beneath thought. When the moon comes close, even by a fraction, that rhythm stirs. Science tells us the moon's pull on the human body is almost nothing, a shift so light it can be measured in milligrams. And yet, the Shaolin path teaches that true influence is not always measured by force, but by resonance. The body, made mostly of water, is a mirror to the greater waters that rise and fall with the moon. The tides in the ocean may be vast, but the tides within you are just as real, only smaller, quieter, easily overlooked. In the temple, when we trained through the night, we noticed something strange. On certain nights, even the calmest mind felt restless. The breath grew shallow. Focus slipped like water through the fingers. We would laugh and say, "The moon is close," not as superstition, but as observation. Nature and body move together. When the moon draws near, a slight tension passes through the nervous system, as if the body prepares for change. The fluids, hormones, and subtle energies begin to realign. The heartbeat quickens. Sleep becomes lighter. It is not danger. It is dialogue. To the untrained mind, such moments feel uncomfortable. To the aware one, they are invitations. The body is whispering, something has shifted. Listen, this is the essence of Shaolin sensitivity. To sense before the mind speaks, to feel before reaction begins. Even the smallest movement of the cosmos can become a lesson in presence, if we are still enough to hear its echo within. The nights after a supermoon often carry a strange weight. Sleep comes slower, dreams grow vivid, the body feels tired, yet the mind refuses to rest. It is as if something within is awake when everything else should be still. Science offers one explanation. The brightness of the moon can subtly suppress melatonin, the hormone that guides our sleep. The body's inner clock, the circadian rhythm, begins to drift. Hormones move out of balance. But from an ancient perspective, this disturbance is more than a chemical reaction. It is the body's quiet conversation with the heavens. In the old temples, monks noticed that sleepless nights were not curses but messages. When restlessness appeared, it meant the system was stirring, recalibrating itself after an intense energetic event. The Shaolin saying goes, "When the river stirs, do not build a dam, guide the flow." Instead of fighting the sleeplessness, the masters would breathe slower, deeper, and direct awareness to the lower abdomen, the dantian, the body's center of balance. In this practice, rest did not depend on sleep, but on harmony. They learned to rest while awake, to calm the heart even when the mind was alert. This restlessness you feel now may not be disorder. it may be a cleansing. The nervous system adjusts to subtle energetic changes, shedding what no longer fits your present state. Each moment of wakefulness can become a mirror, showing you how attached you are to comfort, to control, to rhythm. When you surrender that control, a deeper rest begins. Not the sleep of the body, but the stillness of spirit. The moon's brilliance may disrupt the night, but its purpose is not to disturb. It is to awaken the part of you that knows peace even when the world shines too bright. Emotions move like water. One moment they are still, the next they rise without warning. After a supermoon, these waves can feel stronger. Irritability, unease, or sudden bursts of emotion that seem to come from nowhere. It is easy to think something is wrong, but in truth, something deeper is being revealed. In Shaolin teaching, emotion is not an enemy to be conquered, but energy in motion, qi in movement. The masters understood that when qi rises, it must find its path. If you resist it, it becomes agitation. If you observe it, it becomes transformation. During training in the temple, there were days when frustration boiled like fire. Muscles ached, discipline wavered, and silence felt heavy. But the elder monks would simply smile and say, "The energy is rising, do not fight the tide." They taught us to channel that rising force through the breath. With each exhale, tension softened. With each inhale, focus returned. The same principle applies now. When you feel pressure building within, the mood swings, the restlessness, it is not chaos, it is cleansing. The energy that was once stagnant begins to move again. The moon, in its fullness, draws hidden emotions from shadow into light. What was buried becomes visible. What was silent begins to speak. This is the moment to practice stillness in motion. Sit quietly, breathe through the storm rather than against it. Observe how emotion rises and falls like the sea meeting the shore. It cannot harm you when you do not hold it. Through patience and awareness, agitation turns to clarity. The water within settles, not because the tides stop, but because you have learned to float. This is the way of mastery, to move with life's currents and remain at peace within them. There are times when the world feels louder than usual. The hum of electricity, the rustle of leaves, even a soft voice can seem to echo too sharply in the mind. After a supermoon, this sensitivity can heighten, light feels harsher, sounds sharper, emotions deeper. It is as though your entire being has turned up its volume. To the Shaolin masters, such moments were not weaknesses but signs that the senses were fully awake. When awareness expands faster than understanding, perception sharpens before balance returns. The body becomes like a finely tuned instrument. Every vibration felt, every frequency amplified. In the temple, young monks often struggled with this. During long periods of silence, their hearing grew acute. Small noises became distractions. The elder monks would guide them to close their eyes, breathe into the sound, and feel its vibration rather than flee from it. "Do not run from the world's volume," they would say. "Let it teach you the music of stillness." Your heightened sensitivity now serves the same purpose. The system is amplified because it is recalibrating. The veil between the outer and inner world grows thin, inviting you to notice what you usually overlook, the subtle pulse behind all things. Instead of reacting to every sound or sensation, turn awareness inward. Watch how the body responds, how energy contracts or expands. This is a rare opportunity to refine your inner discipline, to remain centered while the senses awaken. When you learn to stay steady amid heightened perception, the senses become allies. You begin to hear not just noise, but rhythm, to see not just light, but balance, to feel not just pressure, but life moving through you. Sensitivity then becomes strength, the quiet art of perceiving deeply without being disturbed. Pain is a language, quiet, ancient, and often misunderstood. After powerful energetic shifts like the supermoon, that language grows louder. The shoulders feel heavy, the neck stiff, the spine tight, as if the body carries a story it has not yet spoken. Many see this as discomfort to be escaped. The Shaolin view is different. The body does not punish, it communicates. In training, the monks learned early that the body mirrors the mind. When thoughts were scattered, balance faltered. When emotions were suppressed, muscles hardened. A tense jaw revealed unspoken anger. A tight chest signaled held grief. Each sensation was a message, pointing to a part of the self that needed attention. The masters would say, before you free the body, free the energy that binds it. During long meditation sessions, stillness often brought pain to the surface. The instinct was to shift, to stretch, to move away. But the discipline was to stay, to breathe into the tightness and watch it unfold. Many discovered that when the breath softened, the pain loosened on its own, not through force, but through awareness. Your body may now be revealing what has been long held, unfinished emotions, forgotten fatigue, or tension built from constant alertness. Do not treat these sensations as enemies. Observe them as signals. They are maps showing where energy has stopped flowing. By meeting tension with patience, you turn discomfort into discovery. Each ache becomes a doorway to presence. Each breath a reminder that healing is a conversation, not a command. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery begins not by conquering pain, but by listening to it, until the body, once burdened, becomes light again, aligned with the calm rhythm of spirit. Sometimes the body releases what the mind refuses to acknowledge. It does this quietly, through tears that come without reason, through deep yawns, trembling muscles, or long, releasing sighs. These are not random reactions. They are the body's natural way of letting go. When energy that has been held for too long begins to move again, it seeks an exit. What you feel in those moments is not weakness, it is cleansing. The Shaolin masters often spoke of purification through movement. Before stability returns, the internal must first be emptied. During training, it was common for students to tremble after hours of meditation or intense breathwork. Some wept, some laughed, some simply exhaled as if releasing years of silent strain. The elders would bow their heads slightly and say, "The body has spoken. Let it finish its sentence." These moments are signs of alignment, not disorder. The nervous system is recalibrating, expelling stagnant energy that can no longer stay. The mind might label it strange, even uncomfortable, but the spirit recognizes the wisdom in it. What leaves is only what is no longer needed. When such releases arise, do not interfere, do not judge. Simply allow. The breath will guide the process. Inhale acceptance, exhale resistance. Let the body unwind its own story. You are not losing control, you are regaining balance. In the temple, it was said that peace is not achieved by suppressing movement, but by letting truth flow through the body. Just as a stream must clear its bed before running clear again, so must the human system release before it rests. Every tear, every sigh, every tremor is a gesture of healing. The silent art of returning to harmony, one breath at a time. The first step toward balance is not control, it is awareness. When the mind rushes and the body feels unsettled, the Shaolin way is to return to the center, to the still point within movement. This is where true mastery begins. In the temple, every practice, from meditation to martial arts, started the same way, with posture. Feet rooted to the earth, spine aligned, crown lifted gently toward the sky. The masters taught that before energy can flow freely, the body must remember its natural structure. Posture is not only physical, it is an expression of presence. When you stand tall, breath deepens, thoughts slow, and the connection between mind and body reawakens. Once posture is found, attention moves to the breath, slow, even. A quiet rhythm that mirrors the pulse of life itself. Breath is the bridge between the seen and unseen, the conscious and the instinctive. When you regulate the breath, you calm the waves of thought. When you observe it without force, you rediscover the quiet intelligence of the body. From there, movement can return, slow, intentional, like water flowing over smooth stone. In Shaolin Qigong, every gesture is a meditation. Each motion begins in stillness and ends in stillness, reminding the practitioner that clarity is not somewhere to reach, but something to embody. This is the essence of mind-body awareness, to act without haste, to breathe without effort, to live without tension. As awareness deepens, the body becomes light, the mind steady, What once felt chaotic begins to harmonize. In that subtle balance, you discover an ancient truth that every movement, every breath, no matter how small, can be a doorway to clarity if only you walk through it with presence. The mind is a river, endlessly flowing, often spilling beyond its banks. When the body feels restless after the supermoon, when energy surges and sensations pull at every sense, the mind tends to scatter outward, chasing what it cannot grasp. This is the moment to discover the inner gate, the doorway to calm, focus, and mastery. In the Shaolin tradition, attention is not wasted on noise. The elders taught that the wandering mind is like a horse without reins, powerful but directionless. When energy is loud, aches, restlessness, heightened emotions, it is easy to become lost in the surface currents. The practice is to notice where the gaze drifts and then, without force or judgment, return it inward. Begin with the breath. Follow its subtle rhythm, the rise and fall, the gentle passage of air through the body. Let it anchor your awareness. Then move to the core, the dantian, the seat of energy, balance, and presence. Feel the body from the inside out. Allow every sensation, every pulse, to be observed without interference. This is not meditation as escape. It is meditation as engagement, engagement with your own inner landscape. The inner gate opens when observation becomes steady. Thoughts that once scattered like autumn leaves begin to settle. Energy that felt overwhelming starts to circulate smoothly. Tension softens, not because it is forced away, but because it is seen, acknowledged, and guided. Through this practice, attention becomes a tool of mastery rather than distraction. Each inward return strengthens the bridge between body and mind, between chaos and clarity. The noise of the world remains, but within there is a still point, a sanctuary built from discipline, patience, and presence. The inner gate is always open. The challenge is to walk through it with intention. Life's rhythms are not always gentle. Sometimes the body and mind are stirred by forces beyond understanding, leaving tension, restlessness, and unease in their wake. These experiences are often mistaken for failure, a sign that control has been lost. Yet the Shaolin path teaches a different truth. They are invitations, calls to practice patience, endurance, and inner discipline. In the temple, students would face long hours of meditation, grueling physical training, and the stillness of isolation. At first the body rebelled. Muscles ached, the mind wandered, frustration rose like a tide. Many would think themselves incapable. The masters would quietly remind them, the storm is part of the lesson. Stand firm, breathe, and observe. Each moment of discomfort became a teacher. Each difficulty an opportunity to cultivate equanimity. Equanimity is not indifference. It is the steady heart amid turbulence. Patience is not waiting idly. It is the conscious endurance of cycles. The awareness that nothing lasts forever and that all sensations, pleasure, or disturbance pass in time. The Shaolin tradition emphasizes that mastery is born not from conquering external challenges, but from navigating the internal with balance. Over time, a practitioner learns to move with the ebb and flow of energy, to feel the rise and fall of emotion without being carried away. Each restless night, each tension-filled day becomes a chance to practice calm presence. In this way, even the loudest disturbances are transformed into lessons in resilience. Self-mastery is not an achievement to be claimed, but a practice to be lived. By embracing patience, observing cycles, and remaining steady through fluctuations, one learns to weather life's storms without being overwhelmed. The inner landscape becomes a place of stability, a sanctuary where clarity and strength arise naturally from discipline and quiet awareness. After the energy has passed, after the body has moved, released, and stirred, there comes a quieter phase. The restlessness softens. The heightened sensitivity eases. Yet there is no sudden return to normal. Life does not snap back like a stretched cord. Instead, it flows gently into integration, a subtle weaving together of what has shifted within. The Shaolin masters called this the harmony of flux. Every sensation, every ripple of energy leaves an imprint. As you pay attention, as you observe with patience, you begin to recognize the rhythms, that were previously hidden. Your breath aligns more naturally with your movement. Your mind drifts less into distraction. The body carries a quiet steadiness that comes not from force, but from attentive adjustment. Integration is a practice of awareness. It requires that you notice the subtle currents that continue to move, even after the loudest waves have passed. You learn to honor the cycles of energy, emotion, and thought, understanding that each is temporary, yet each teaches something essential. What once felt like disruption becomes a guide, showing the pace and flow of life itself. In the temple, after long periods of training or energetic exertion, the monks would spend hours in stillness, allowing the body and mind to settle. They called this returning to subtle harmony, not erasing what had occurred, but weaving it into the fabric of presence. The lessons of endurance, patience, and sensitivity were not lost. They became integrated wisdom, quietly shaping every movement and breath. Self-mastery, in this sense, is not about controlling every surge or eliminating every discomfort. It is about living in rhythm with what arises, moving gracefully through cycles, and embodying balance even in change. In learning to integrate, you discover the deeper truth of harmony. It is not a fixed state, but a continuous dance with the natural flow of life. The path to mastery is rarely forged in grand gestures. It is found in small, consistent acts, simple moments of awareness that anchor the mind and body in the present. After energetic shifts like a supermoon, these moments become vital, helping the body and spirit to settle, integrate, and harmonize. One of the most subtle yet powerful practices is the gentle breath check. Taking a few conscious breaths, observing their depth and rhythm, allows the nervous system to return to balance. The breath becomes a bridge between what is restless outside and the calm that resides within. It is not about forcing change, but about noticing what is already there and giving it space to flow. Another practice is the body scan, from head to toe. Simply observe areas of tension, areas of ease. Feel the weight of your limbs, the rise and fall of your chest, the pulse at your wrists or temples. The Shaolin tradition emphasizes that the body is a map of inner energy. By observing it regularly, one develops sensitivity, recognizing subtle shifts before they become disturbances. Quiet awareness, sitting or standing in stillness, is equally essential. In the temple, even brief moments of conscious presence were valued over long hours of hurried activity. Consistency, not intensity, creates depth. Daily practice cultivates patience, resilience, and clarity. Small, repeated habits anchor the mind amidst cycles of change, allowing the self to remain steady when outer circumstances fluctuate. Through these simple rituals, mastery grows not from struggle, but from attentiveness. Over time, the body remembers alignment, the mind remembers calm, and the spirit learns to move with the natural rhythm of life. The key is not to overwhelm yourself with elaborate routines, but to return daily to these anchors, small acts that ripple outward, building balance, awareness, and quiet strength in every moment. There are moments when the body speaks so loudly that it cannot be ignored. Stiffness, fatigue, or intense emotional surges may appear beyond what seems ordinary. In these times, the first act of mastery is discernment, knowing when to seek guidance beyond the inner practice. Ancient wisdom does not oppose reason, it embraces it. Consulting a health professional when symptoms are extreme is not weakness but an exercise in clarity and responsibility. In Shaolin training, students were taught that awareness of the self includes respect for limits. Even the most disciplined monk would rest, would ask for care, would adjust practice when the body demanded it. Ignoring signals only deepened imbalance. Spiritual insight is a path of observation and transformation, but it is not a substitute for medicine, nutrition, or professional advice. The mind may be ready for calm, but the body must be honored with equal attentiveness. Equally important is self-compassion. The same forces that heighten perception and stir energy can also magnify impatience with oneself. A tender approach, quiet acknowledgement of difficulty, gentle breathing, and self-kindness restores harmony more effectively than judgment or self-reproach. The Shaolin masters emphasized patience with the self as a cornerstone of discipline. The mind becomes steady when it is nurtured, not punished. Compassion is not indulgence. It is recognition of truth. It is allowing space for imperfection, for rest, for the natural ebb and flow of energy. When combined with discernment, it transforms challenges into lessons. Even in the midst of strong sensations, the path of balance remains open. Observing with awareness, seeking care when necessary, and meeting oneself with kindness, these are the quiet practices that cultivate enduring strength, clarity, and resilience. Every cycle carries a lesson if one is willing to notice. The moon waxes and wanes, tides rise and fall, the body moves through rhythms that are older than thought itself. In these natural pulses, there is a quiet invitation to observe, to adapt, and to cultivate mastery from within. The supermoon may have stirred energy, disrupted sleep, or heightened perception, but its influence is not a disturbance to resist. It is a teacher whispering through the body, the mind, and the spirit. In Shaolin practice, cycles were never seen as obstacles. Each phase of training, from intense exertion to deep stillness, was an opportunity to learn endurance, presence, and awareness. The masters observed that when attention is aligned with natural rhythms, every action becomes precise, every breath meaningful. Energy flows more freely when it moves in harmony with the cycles of life rather than against them. Your own body reflects these rhythms. Emotional surges, restless sleep, or subtle tension are not failures. They are markers of energy in motion, reminders of the larger patterns at play. By observing these cycles without resistance, a deeper understanding emerges. Patience grows, sensitivity sharpens, the mind begins to settle in the silence between pulses. Stillness does not come from stopping the world, but from moving in accordance with it. In the quiet spaces left after disruption, insight arises. You learn that mastery is not control over external forces, but balance within them. The moon's passing is proof that all energy is temporary, all movement cyclical. When the body, mind, and spirit return to alignment, there's a profound calm. Inner silence is not emptiness, it is clarity, presence, and resilience. Each cycle becomes a teacher, each rhythm a guide, and each moment of stillness an opportunity to embody the timeless art of harmonious living. Even after the supermoon fades, its subtle rhythms may linger within, in the body, the mind, and the spirit. Restless sleep, waves of emotion, tension, heightened senses, or quiet urges to release are not obstacles but gentle reminders that life moves in cycles. The Shaolin-informed path teaches that true mastery comes not from control, but from observation, patience, and inner balance. By turning attention inward, breathing with awareness, and meeting each sensation with calm presence, these post-supermoon effects transform into tools for growth. Each moment of restlessness becomes an opportunity to practice equanimity. Each wave of energy a chance to strengthen discipline and self-awareness. You learn to move with the rhythms of life, to integrate change rather than resist it, and to remain steady amidst flux. As you carry these lessons into daily life, remember mastery is subtle. It is found in small acts of presence, in gentle observation, and in consistent practice. The moon may stir energy, but you hold the power to harmonize, to restore, and to flow gracefully with whatever arises. If you found this reflection valuable, let it guide your next days with awareness and calm. Embrace the rhythms within and allow each cycle to deepen your connection to yourself. Thank you for being here with us. Join our community of seekers by subscribing to Shaolin Soulfire, where presence, mastery, and ancient wisdom meet the rhythms of modern life. May your days move with quiet strength, clarity, and peace.